Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ultrapond podcast. I am Patient Tadpole, and
And I'm FoeCus, and this is episode number 5. This time I got the number right.
Yep.
This is actually our second attempt at number 5.
yeah. And if you didn't see
We
the first attempt, neither did we. That was the issue. So,
yeah, exactly.
uh,
It didn't work out. My internet messed up or something, but
we're here now.
anyways, yep, number 5. And I've been working on 4 all day. And anyways, we like to start out with the Nintendo Online News. So they're bringing this Wave 2 of the Scarlet Violet back around. They actually already had this out before, but I mentioned last time how with this game, I'm not ready to spend $70 for extra content because each one is 35.
Mhm.
And I felt like I finished the game. I liked the game. I finished it, got 100%. And then, but I was done with it. So I don't know, the new Pokemon are really cool and enticing, but it's just not enough for me to
As we were,
justify that much.
as we've been talking about RPGs in the last few episodes, it's that constant issue of this game's fantastic, but at a certain point, I am done. This DLC is for people
Yeah.
who aren't done, and I reached there about the 5th gym leader. So
Yeah, you didn't even feel like it was worth playing through the whole game.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I did have a fantastic time but it was because I took it at the pace I wanted to, which was egregiously slow. I think it took me 2 hours to get to my first Pokemon battle. That
Right.
kind of.
But so you basically were exploring the world though, right? For
Yeah.
those 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the cool part about it. Yeah.
hmm
But we've talked about Pokemon before. Anyways, Wave 2's back.
Yeah. With
Or
that
did you want to
wave,
say
is
more?
there anything I noticed those redeeming points for rewards. Were there any points that you think was worth your time that you should grab
Oh,
before they disappear? Oh, you already got them.
I got all the starters. These 2 I think are cool.
Got it.
Yeah, because this is the second time they've brought this wave around, so this might be the last time. I don't know.
Mm.
All this stuff is I'm not the biggest. Okay, Pokemon. It's weird because I play Pokemon a ton, but I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Pokemon fan. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I
It's
understand entirely. It's just because you love something doesn't mean like uh, you're not as. It's hard to explain, isn't it? You're not
exactly.
passionate.
I'm not addicted to it. I'm not
You,
addicted to it. I support it. I guess I
yeah,
support it.
you support it. You're not passionate about it. It's this is part of my life.
Yeah.
It's not my life.
Yep. And that's that. We also got one of those 100 coin missions. Dude, I'm about to create a second account since I have the family plan for the online and just get double the coins.
Yeah.
But they are giving you incentive to play this game, which I never played it, and I was looking for an excuse to play it, so this was perfect. So I played it, and it's that one. It's where it's like Tetris with fruits, where they get combined, and it's really popular. So most people have probably heard of it. But what do you think of this game?
Yeah, I've seen a few people playing around. The main theme that I see with it is it's just it's kind of that mindless fun, something you can click and play with, while
Yeah.
something else more important is being listened to in the background or something like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's valuable. It's definitely a lot of people are going to enjoy this, but it's never. I'm never going to expect someone to be like, "Oh, I'm a hardcore Suika player." If someone says
It
that,
is a good stream game for people who just want to stream and it's mostly about their personality. I see some people doing that.
and exactly one of the things about these games is that one of the best things is some games just lend themselves to streaming better. I used to stream Rogue Legacy 2. That was honestly not that good for streaming. I had to pause a lot. I had to be very
Because
cautious.
you needed to concentrate and couldn't
Yeah.
talk. That makes sense. Yeah.
When you start a boss fight, well, I guess we're not talking to chat until the boss fight's over.
Yeah.
Suika game, you literally press a button, you see it bouncing around while you're talking to someone. It's also back we used to play a game called Hearthstone, and the whole thing that made that so enjoyable is you hit end turn. There's no interaction during their turn, so you just sit and talk to chat or do whatever it is you're trying to interact with other people while they're doing all their explosive turn things in the corner.
Yep, true. And this is one of those games. Play it. 100 coins. Okay, dude, this Tetris 99 stuff where they have the cups that are themed for I wish I got into this stuff at the beginning, but I'm just like not that into Tetris. But I love how they do a theme for everything. I like how it like stays current. It's like it almost feels like little seasons, you know.
So what does the
Anyways, do you
theme
know
do? Is it just like
nothing? I
visuals in
think it
the
just changes
background?
the background.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any like rules. I
Hmm.
actually have no idea. But
I guess
anyways,
if
the
you're
event
not
ends in 2 days if you care.
got it.
Let's not spend too much time on it since we don't know
Yeah,
anything.
fair
Same
enough.
with this,
Oh
like,
my.
um, I played this a couple times, it's pretty cool, but I don't know, what do you think of this?
My main theme
Any
is I'm
thoughts?
just excited to see, hey, F-Zero 99 is so popular that they're making more features, more modes, more support. There's a whole thing that
Yeah,
Captain Falcon, I remember seeing some discussions about Smash Bros. And they were like saying, this game is keeping Captain Falcon and this franchise on life support. This is the only reason people talk about it. And now we get F-Zero 99, which it's just it's good to see F-Zero still alive and well. And honestly, even back when we were playing F-Zero X on
and
the N6,
alive and a online battle
yeah,
pass game.
alive and not in a
Not
coma.
yet.
How's that?
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
They're
crawling.
still in the hospital. We still need to help them where we can.
Yeah, exactly, I wouldn't say as well, yeah, in the
Yeah.
hospital, yeah.
But yeah, just like I'm glad to see it's gained support. I'm glad to see
Yeah,
that people
true.
care about the franchise and give it the opportunity. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool. It sucks because Mario Kart is like their racer, you know, so if they invest in another racer, they're probably gonna want it to be way different, you know?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
right now. I'm saying
which would be cool, but
the F-Zero racer has to be hardcore. It's not, which then again also reduces the audience, which is probably why they couldn't do it
yeah.
like that. Hmm,
Anyways, let's not get too caught up in theories,
fair
but
enough.
it is good that it's getting support. And speaking of support, supporting the Legend of Zelda. I love Legend of Zelda. And
Yeah,
honestly, I archived all this little stuff because they like made
dude.
like a little article thing with blurbs about each game. And I took pictures of it and archived it on my Switch because that stuff's kind of cool. Kind of like a pseudo Nintendo Power. It's like the closest we're gonna get to Nintendo Power again, you know. So,
It's supported by Nintendo
anyways,
even.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude.
And then we're back to what we were talking about last week. So they only added 5 cells. But I've been playing Harvest Moon 64 on
Oh,
stream
right.
at FoeCus, and there's still the Christmas Animal Crossing. The Yoshi thing's still up till January. But yeah, that's and then the Christmas icons, which we talked about last time. But
Nice. Yeah.
that's all there's talking about on that. And but there's a lot of opportunities to get coins right now, which I wanted to talk about how they have the desktop calendar now for the
Mm,
coin reward, which this thing to me is so worth collecting. I've got this year's one, pretty cool, and they've got like little designs on the back. This year's a little more tame. Some years they do it way more up, and they don't even show what the other side looks like in the previews. But a lot of times it's one side like this, and then one side like a calendar.
mm.
It's pretty cool stuff. I like it at least.
And like I think
But
that
apparently, oh wait, go for it, go for it.
also I was just gonna say like one of the awesome things with that is it's just like you're going to need a calendar. Like just that's the
Right.
nature of life. And it's like, okay, now we get this awesome looking calendar, and it didn't cost me actual money. It cost me platinum coins, which I got from playing the games that I love.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty cool. But apparently, Japan and Europe get way better rewards than us. I don't even know what they get. Maybe I shouldn't look at it, but the ones we do get are pretty cool too. Except this ornament's kind of cheap looking. It just looks like a piece of paper. So, and Tadpole mentioned maybe if they made it the design more relevant,
Yeah.
like to
So
new Mario,
one of the things I
like
was bringing
Wonder
up
Mario.
is like every Christmas getting your platinum points for a specific ornament. So like if this was a Mario
Oh,
Wonder ornament, so it's like so
yeah, I
this
see
is
what
my
you're saying.
ornament of
Yeah,
oh back when I played this fantastic game and oh when I played this fantastic game. The fact that it's just an ornament of just general Mario is like cool. I get it. I get the best looking one and that's it. Unless you
yeah,
want your tree
exactly.
just filled with Mario. And I feel like if you're doing just cutouts like that, just literally take prints and cut it out. Like it has to actually be an ornament or yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like an actual physical, like they didn't make it cool enough. These things are pretty cool. I've gotten these, but anyways, that's a way to get platinum coins, and platinum coins they actually can, and also just for logging in and like interacting with your guys, sometimes you'll get coins.
Yeah.
But another way to get pseudo
Yeah.
free gaming merchandise is the Humble Bundle, where
Yeah.
it's like really cheap. Ben knows more about, or Tadpole knows more about
So
this.
I'm not going to use the word free, but I am going to use the word pretty
That's not,
inexpensive. So Humble Bundle is something I've been doing for years. It's why my I will state this is more Steam, not Nintendo, but it's the reason my Steam account has over 1,000 games, whether or not I've played them all. Um, Basically, Humble Bundle will get these, well, bundles, unsurprisingly, of different themes. I went there for the games, but they also get like books and stuff like that. And they just have like certain genres, and it's like, all right, you pay $12, which is as much as for a single game, and you get like 12 of them, which is just
yeah,
like
that's hell. It's a hella good deal, and it's like it goes to charity, right? So it's
it,
like
it does.
it
Yep.
like you also get good moral points or whatever, but actually it goes to charity, and then like yeah, you get a bunch of indie games to support a bunch of indie people,
I
like
will
this kind of game, Smooshy.
I will state that about the kind of games you get. If you're looking for like the top end, the games of this year, that's not going to be on this Humble Bundle. Sometimes you'll get like the game of the year from a year ago or 2 years ago. Sometimes comes up on my Humble Bundles when I play them, when I buy them. So don't
Oh,
expect like
cool.
the top of the line game. You'll still have to pay for those normally, but if like a game's old but you still want to play it, you could probably find it on one of these bundles if you keep your eye out for them. Um,
Dude, I've heard so many good things about Tinykins. Speaking of some of the games you can get,
mhm.
I'm watching the trailer now. But yeah, and another one of the things you can get is this JRPG bundle,
Yep.
which we can use this as an opportunity
Yep.
to transition to JRPG, or not just JRPGs, but RPGs,
Yep.
which is what we've been talking about. Oh, Bug Fables. This is
Yep.
like, oh, which when we're done talking about your collection, we can do partly my
Yeah.
collection and like go through the Paper Mario. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I was gonna say if you just want to go like one game of mine, one game of yours for this time.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So let's start with yours because I was excited to hear about yours because you had your stacks thing.
Yeah, though really quick, worth knowing, like Bug Fables, basically a spiritual
Yeah.
successor to the Thousand Year Door, which we now know is
Mhm.
coming out. So if you like one, you'll like the other. I think probably getting both will be worthwhile most of the time. But yeah, it's I've heard only good things about this, and right now it's on Humble Bundle. I think by the time this video comes out, it's not going to be on Humble Bundle anymore. Well, not as part of a bundle, but they do repeats. They do
Well,
repeats. I do have like
just
three
buy the game at
copies of
full
a few
price.
games, believe it or not.
Yeah, and buy the game at full price. So
Yep.
come on.
Oh no, tragedy. You have to pay full price for a game that's worth the price.
Yeah,
All right.
but
So,
yeah, what? Let me. You show your game. Let's see.
yep.
Drum roll.
All right. So first, before we do, just
RPG.
worth noting how beautiful it is that I talk about RPGs. The game that's known for going on extra long has to have multiple episodes to talk about RPGs because multiple episodes worth of
Yeah,
talking. Yep. Sorry.
yeah. We have to grind out. No, though, that's a good point. Sorry, it took me a while to think through that. You're right. It's we have to grind through the RPG episode just like you would in an RPG. And it's gonna take. It's gonna be like a grand adventure.
Yep. All
I
right.
think it's gonna go up to like maybe even four parts. To be honest,
If we just
we'll
keep the
see.
rest of the episode to this, we might get to the bottom of my DS games.
All right.
All right. Drum
What's the
roll.
one you're gonna share today?
The first one I'm gonna do is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked.
Oh, I
So
remember you telling me.
this
All right.
was I remember hearing a lot of good. What was it? So I'm going to talk about Strange Journey as well. So we also got Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. That these were just games that had like this interesting summoning system, and like it just Shin Megami Tensei, for those who don't know, is a genre where like the idea, the concept behind these games is that all the different like Norse mythology, European mythology, as well as religions all exist simultaneously in this world, and it's kind of how these all interact with you. So like sometimes your summons might be pixies or goblins. Later game, it's Odin, and also the Chupacabra. I think the Chupacabra is actually a creature, and they're like all these different themes. So that's kind of Shin Megami Tensei, and there's a Devil Summoner. This is part of the Devil Summoner franchise, many people know of it for the Persona franchise, but this one, it feels a bit more like Pokemon, where you're trying to design, where you have your main character, but then you also have these creatures alongside you that are helping you fight off your enemies and stuff. This one, the kind of story is that, in addition to having these creatures, you have this supernatural ability where you can see how many days are left until someone dies. And by knowing that, you could sometimes change fate and make it so that they survive. Which, as the game starts, you find everyone around you has at most 7 days left to live. Some people have 1 or 0, but at most everyone has 7 days left to live. So the whole thing is that everyone's like stuck in this city where monsters are roaming out. They're stuck in Shibuya, I think, and you have to fight. Yeah, all the thieves are trying to defy fate, trying to like, oh, this guy's about to die. We need to actually do something to stop that. This person is, we need to help him. This person is probably the cause of all of this, so we need to investigate that. It's interesting that you have to go through different dynamics, and like I've played. This is one of those games that you beat it, and then like the actual game is to play it again and beat it again.
Dude, yeah, this is a deep cut. Yeah, this is a RPG man's RPG. Like I would play like one of these a year. Like Dragon Quest 12 is probably the last one of these I've played. But they're always hella worth it, like getting into the systems and stuff.
I will definitely state it's very difficult to just pick up and play and then drop. It's very much something you invest in, and this is your RPG for the next few months.
Yeah.
But one thing I really liked, so I played, as I said, I played it 3 times, played through it 3 times, and just how different the stories are. Where like one, for one, it was like, okay, demons are really just tools that we can use, and like it was about trying to leverage their abilities to your strength to like help make a better society. And then the second one, it was like, oh no, I am the savior of the world. I'm going to be the next apostle to save it all. And like it's just very different ending. And apparently like they constantly taunt at the, so what happens is, of like the 7 or 8 characters on the screen, on the final day you choose one of those characters and you follow their ideals and you follow their path to the final day. And
whoa, what the heck?
Depending on what your decisions are, which ones you can even take. Like I remember one time I was able to choose between like 3 options. Another time I only had 1 option available to me, which there's always the available one person just like, this is not for us. Let's just run away. And that's an option to just try to escape fate. And one of the things about the Overclocked is, for some of the endings, they have a day 8, which is, all right, this is the aftermath of what you created. Live with it. And you have one more theme with like some super secret boss at the end. So the one where I became like the savior of the world or whatever, where it was like, oh no, I will ascend beyond humanity and help protect humanity. There was another person who was the savior of humanity that got a little pissed that I was in his play zone. And so he became the actual final boss for me. I remember I like engage with it. Like you have multiple characters. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy Tactics. But then once you go up and fight someone, it then switches to RPG mode. And it was so funny because I had like one person tactics style had like resurrection spells. And so my main character was like high DPS. I ran up to the boss, started the RPG mode, and it one-shot me. And then I had my character get revived, and then he ran back up to the boss to get one-shot again. And I was like strategizing around that for like, okay, I'm starting to run out of meta at this point because it's that long of a fight. This guy's killed me like 12 times already.
Oh my god. So how did you beat him? Or did you not beat him?
I actually just beat him with like 20 points of mana left or something like that.
So you got 1 hit in every time he killed you?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
But yeah, it definitely,
that's one way to do it.
It definitely felt like I was being a little cheap.
An immovable object. No, that's how you have to do it though. I feel like they designed those so you have to like be cheap or use a combo or some shit, you know?
Yeah, I do like that throughout the game, it feels like you're solving a mystery. That even when you beat the game, it's like, well, was that the actual correct answer to the mystery? and because there's different routes, there's different ways you can resolve it. Um, Also, like,
Yeah, I don't think sorry, just to chime in,
yeah, no,
I
chime in.
personally don't think that I would like invest more than one playthrough into a game like this. How long is the main game? How long did it take for each
Uh,
playthrough? Or is it
so
like significantly less the second time around?
yeah, it's
So like the
significantly
third.
less the second time because you could bring in your old creatures, so you're just kind of doing storytelling.
Oh, so it's like New Game Plus.
Yeah, New
So you
Game
like,
Plus doesn't get more difficult; it gets easier.
okay. I see.
And there's some extra stuff in New Game Plus, like there's because you're now not having to train, like you're able to catch up to these mini bosses that you just couldn't fight in the first playthrough.
Oh, okay. So it is like an extra game.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's
Okay.
definitely more story based on the multiple times through. But I just kind of like how the dynamics. Like I think this character in the top left corner here, depending on how you play through it, they're either an ally or one of the main villains, depending on which way you
Oh,
do it.
wow.
Um,
That's interesting.
and just like
So you put a lot of hours into this game. How many hours would you say you put into this game?
okay, so let me think. So let's just say, okay, do we want to count grinding? Because as
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
if
all
we
of it.
count
Oh,
grinding, this probably gets like 60 hours at least.
that's awesome. But grinding is like you're kind of watching a YouTube video, not really playing the game,
Yeah,
kind of grind.
I it's on the 3DS, so you're playing the game while something else is happening around you, or on a car ride while your parents are driving. I will state that when I'm talking
Yeah.
about these games, when we talk about the DS, 3DS era, this is when I was still a child. This was still when I was, yeah.
All right. So Damien's Overclock. Do you have any
Statements as
how long?
for would I recommend it or such. I will
Yeah,
say,
like sure, yeah.
yeah, I will say it is a bit more on the hardcore side. Like as you can see, it's 3 versus 3, sort of like the positioning. If they
Yeah.
kill your main character, that takes out the entire party, and that like not everyone likes that. Not everyone
Yeah.
will enjoy that kind of play. So I recognize it's not for. It's okay. Let me put it this way: if you like to dedicate to an RPG, this is worth the time.
Yeah.
At this point in life, there's probably bear RPGs, but I would not be offended to try to play more of this. This
Like
is
Live Alive.
yeah. Oh right, Live Alive is now around. Got it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Is a remake they made, or Super Mario RPG, which is what started this whole conversation.
Yep. So yeah,
But
there's definitely
yeah,
it's worth the while. It's worth a while. It was a lot of fun when I was a kid. I think it aged pretty well. The only problems with aging is just generally games get better in general. I think it's still
yeah,
pretty good.
exactly.
Not a masterpiece, but worth its time.
That's cool.
I've said more than I needed to say, so I'm good finishing off here.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. A lot. One of those thick RPGs that it's just like thick with lore and stuff. It's weird how like before I start my RPG, it's weird how like our culture just decided like okay these. I mean I guess there wasn't that many back in the day, but they decided that like these super long RPG games are the ones that we like. You know, like I think everyone has like had an experience with a Final Fantasy set, like Final Fantasy game, maybe Final Fantasy 7 and 6, because I always hear people talk about that a lot.
But I think part of the cause of that was back then, like when you're a kid, you're dependent on what your parents can afford for games. You can't really go on your own. So one, if it's popular, it's probably getting picked up. And two,
Yeah.
if it's something that's gonna entertain your child for a very long time, that's additional value, like for the parents. So it might just
Yeah, exactly.
be those two, which by all means
True.
that led to some
Yeah.
fantastic experiences. So not trying to say anything about that, just yeah.
Yeah, now things are way different. There's a lot of different RPGs, but so that was like a thick, heavy type RPG. The RPG that I'll talk about is Paper Mario Origami King, which I played more recently, not that long ago, like maybe 3 years ago now, 2 years ago, 2.5. But this game like surprised me. It's pretty fun. You can kind of everyone hates the combat, and yes, the combat's just like skippable, but the bosses are entertaining enough, and you can just kind of play through it and just like not worry about the fight so much. And if you don't like if you like just think of it as something different from the RPG series, like not like Thousand Year Door, then you can enjoy it. Because I feel like they did Super Paper Mario, you know, and like after that, like the RPG series just became a whole different thing, the Super Mario RPG series.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first two were so like those are RPGs, you know, like really basic ones that like give you badges and different systems and stuff. But then they just became like these art games almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you have any comments to
And
say on that?
yeah, emphasizing on the paper. I will state that
Emphasizing the paper,
yeah,
yeah.
I watched you. So one of the things is we were still living together when FoeCus was playing this, and
Yeah.
I watched him play this game, and from watching it, I felt like I got all the enjoyment I needed. But also, it's worth noting that like it was really good. It's just that, as you were saying, that battle system. Once you learn the puzzles, like
Yeah.
once the puzzle's solved, that's the entire encounter solved.
Yeah. Or okay, for me, so I'm not the biggest puzzle genius. So as for me, it would either be super simple and I get it right away, or it'd be so complicated, like that I would just like use a super item, and in that case, it was still solving it for me basically because I was just using an item. But yeah, yeah, not super complicated, not super, but the story of this game is like really cute and interesting, and I love playing through it. Yeah, look, you like have all these talking items. And actually, the final boss is pretty epic. Like, it's a really like cinematic kind of fun time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna state that like from watching it, like as I said, I got my enjoyment from watching it, but I got genuine
Yeah.
enjoyment. This was a really good story. This was like, okay, maybe we didn't get Origami King's combat again, but we got the heart of Origami King, or sorry, the Thousand Year Doors. This isn't their combat anymore,
Mhm.
but it is their heart is once again in this system, and you can see it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Luigi backstory too. Yep, they had a lot of cute little things.
so it's
And
like,
like I remember one of my favorite moments was going through the like theme park kind of area. Were you
oh,
watching me when I did that
I
part?
think I was
That
gone
was
at
one of
that
my
point.
favorite parts. Okay, yeah. There's a part where you go through like a theme park and you like have to put on different paper mache costumes to disguise yourself, and it's a good time, and like there's a lot of moments like that you'll have with this game where you'll like remember a significant part, and like it'll just be iconic for you. It'll create like an iconic memory for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Like
Like this again, we were saying like it felt genuinely good. It's not.
uh
I don't really have a phrase
the
other than
fire
that.
mechanics makes sense. It's an experience. Like you gotta
Yep.
experience it.
Yep. It's
You
not.
look at like the fire area, all the weakness to fire, and it's like all based on your like it seems kind of cheap when you first encounter it, where they use like rubber bands for the boss and like colored pencils for the boss, where it's like they don't actually make these RPG characters. It's like paper utensils, which I still wish they would have made like if it was a rubber band instead of a rubber band boss, a rubber band ball boss, which is what it literally was. They should make like a rubber band elemental. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Or like if it was like instead of just colored pencils, literally in a colored pencils case, like the colored pencil Gundam type thing, you know?
like
But
kind
they
of
literally just made them what they were.
kind of like if rock paper scissors was an elemental affinity instead of characters in the game, basically.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. More like that. But maybe that's why they didn't want it to be too complicated. Dude, this guy sucks. He keeps getting burned. But but they did have the bosses, like the origami dragon and the origami turtle. They did have some cool ones like that. So they made up for it like that. And there's enough like stuff like that that kind of like makes up for it and
and,
is way cooler. And like yeah, what were we gonna say?
and I actually really like later on. There's actually a boss that's a pair of scissors, which visually isn't very appealing,
Yeah,
but
that
like,
oh dude, okay, well I guess we're gonna get spoilers anyways.
sorry,
Uh, no, that's okay. I just we if they're listening to this, they're gonna expect spoilers.
yeah,
But the scissors were that was the coolest end game boss, I thought. Sorry, continue.
yeah,
Continue.
no. So I think yeah, you were the one talking about, but yeah, it's scissors. Like first story
This is
wise, they
cool.
actually have a cool concept of how does scissors interact in a world where everything's paper, and then
Literally just kills everything, cuts it in half. Yeah.
just like the boss fight is just like, all right, we could do it the easy way. I'll go easy on you, or you could try to take me seriously. Your choice.
hmm Yeah, what he's talking about exactly is that the scissors have a protect. You know, you have scissors and you can like put the little protector cap on it. Like it has a protector cap, but if you jump, you can break the protector cap, and then it'll have its actual scissors. And if you jump on that, your character will get cut in half and just die in one hit. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, all the bosses have these crit, like it's showing right now. These wild, like effects on the grid that like make you move up, down, move like a certain route through it, almost like tower defense type thing, and then do an attack. And that's actually pretty fun. That's a fun part of this game. Dude, this guy's intro freaks me out. I don't know. Watching it a billion times, like it's not bad. It's just watching it a million times in a row is it's just funny. No hate. Just it's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like they did a lot of things where it's like we expected this to be bad, but it was genuinely good. It wasn't Thousand Year Door. It wasn't like the Paper Mario that we know, but that does not make it a bad game. This was a good game.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. Any more comments you wish to make on it?
No, I'm done with it.
All right.
How long have we been talking? Do you want to do another one of your games? I feel like it hasn't been quite an hour.
I'm keeping track. I have a little clock here. We have a good half hour still, actually.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So
I guess we don't need to rush too much.
Nope, cool. We do not need to rush. So I'm going to choose my next game, which I actually switched the order a little bit because I felt like this was something kind of interesting I wanted to talk about. This was a game I bought just like I heard that might be good. I'm like, you know what? Let's try it. Let's see if Fossil Fighters is actually anywhere like as good as something like Pokemon, because that's kind of how it sells it. It sells it as kind of like a next Pokemon where you're using dinosaurs instead of like little creatures.
Which, can I say something real quick? Yeah. Just like I hate that all these monster RPG games have to come out, or that it's always implied that they're like competing with Pokemon, just because I feel like even Pokemon is just an RPG. They're all just RPGs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like we shouldn't think of it as like, is this a replacement to Pokemon? It's like, dude, they're just all RPGs. They're not even, I don't even like the classification of monster hunting RPG because it's like, they're all, yeah.
And that's another thing, like, no one plays Chrono Trigger and says, is this the replacement for Final Fantasy? Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
They just say they're both good games.
Yeah, because they're so different. Like, it's all so different, you know? Like, the way you capture them and the way you train their attacks and, like, the gameplay of it. Yeah, it's just... Yeah. I recently ordered that, the Dragon Quest Monsters Dark Prince game. Because I want to try it out, because it seems like a sick RPG. But I love Pokemon, and I would never think of it as a replacement for Pokemon.
Exactly.
Sorry, Fossil Fighters.
So, anyways, Fossil Fighters, kind of the idea was, instead of, like, going out and catching Pokemon, what happens is you literally dig rocks out of the ground, and like how there's different Pokemon in certain areas, there's different fossils you find in certain areas, and then you like play this mini game where you have to like use the stylus to try to dig just enough to get it out, but not so much that you break it. So this one thing right here that they're showing, and you're trying to like get to the fossil, and there's like a time limit. And
that's pretty cool, actually. That reminds me of those old science computer games. You remember those?
Mm-hmm.
They totally coded in those. Yeah.
And you can see this little bar in the left where it shows him both how much time he is and how close he is to good. Like that, there's a little red bar above at the top, which is showing how much damage he's done to it. So he can't navigate that, but he just is trying to get as much as he can. And like depending on how much you get is how much experience you gain for that dinosaur, so that it starts out actually strong enough to fight.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to go too deep into the mechanics, but it was actually a lot of fun to like craft your dinosaur surf theme. So as for, is this a good game? I kind of wanted to make the following statement. If I got this when I was 9 or 12 or something like that, this would have probably been my favorite game. I got this when I was 18. I was way too old for this game. And one of the things was, there were a few moments during this game where I'm just like, that was a really mature theme that didn't really see. It's not interesting enough to go into like to be like a mature story, but it was also like, okay, let me just put it this way. Near the end, as you go through the game, there's these two girl characters, and it feels like it's kind of like one of those dating relationship style games of which one are you going to pick. Which, as a kid, I don't really think they're worried about whether they want dates. the sassy rich girl or the reptile woman.
Yeah, that's more like teenager. But this was
Yeah,
like Too Little Kitty, you think? Yeah. But then
100%.
yet they had teenager themes. That's weird.
And then like, and again, spoiler for the ending, whichever one you choose, it's not said directly, but basically implies that like, oh, we can end up together forever sort of situation. I'm just like, so we're doing marriage about this 12-year-old and this I felt like the rich girl was too sassy. And so I actually chose the lizard girl because she was actually trying to make peace and be friends with the humans. And then like they had this whole thing, it's like, well, we might be stuck here forever, so we might as well make use. I'm like, I was thinking this was just gonna be a friendship. I thought we were just making peace. What the hell is this?
Yeah, that's
It
interesting.
just got like really
Okay.
weirdly mature in that
Yeah.
element. And
So what were the battles like then?
okay,
Like,
so yes,
okay,
let's get to the mechanics. So once you actually get into the fight, you have this front position and then two back positions. And what happens is you can like switch out to have certain people in front. So the combat system was actually really dynamic and interesting. But again, it was for kids, so they didn't have it developed well enough for you to really take advantage of it. Um, but generally, it's like you put a tank in front and then like a ranged DPS in the back, which any flying animal is a ranged DPS, and then like usually a support
oh,
guy. And you're like, basically what happens is each character has a certain amount of stamina, and you're like choosing which attacks to use, and you can like there's that little green spot. If you switch out
yeah.
to put another person in the front, or you use an attack that knocks them back, you can force people to switch up their position. So you don't just want like you don't just want one guy tanking and two guys weak. You actually need to strategize for, oh, they knocked my tank backwards. He's forced in the back line for the next two turns. Who's going to tank in his place for these turns? And
Oh, damn.
I thought there was like, if there was actually a competitive, if there were more creatures like this, I could have actually seen a competitive scene. I remember I made like 4 different teams because it just was interesting enough in my mind that there was a dynamic here. This could have actually the battle system was actually dynamic and interesting, had a lot of depth that I just,
Yeah, like you needed your team to be specialized but also versatile. Like,
yeah.
what the heck?
And
That
like
seems pretty cool.
just like how there's Pokemon gym leaders, I remember I had a full water team that I was trying out and felt actually pretty competent. Where it's like, oh, I have a clear
Wow.
elemental weakness, but it doesn't matter because I have ways to play around it. And
That's pretty sick.
yeah, it's just like there was enough dynamic elements in the fighting that just never went used. There was even a place where you do a tournament, and I didn't, and like by then I like built a really strong team. Let's see if this is good enough. And then it was like it wasn't even close. The fights weren't even hard because they didn't know how to do that.
Wow.
And
And like, so the whole game was like that, like no challenge, like Pokemon style.
no challenge,
Damn.
and that was kind of the issue. I really enjoy. It was like everything I saw about Fossil Fires told me that had potential. This could have been a really good series. But it was like the story didn't really have like it was written too childish for the audience it was actually going for, and the mechanics were deep. They had enough depth without too much complexity, but they couldn't because now their audience is down here. They can't leverage it up here. It was just this weird
Oh,
their target
yeah, I
audience
see what you're saying.
elements were just pretty poor. I will say that even back then, the visuals were very polygony. Like if you see one of the humans'
Right.
faces on the screen, it's just like
So
a
wait,
bunch of cubes.
yeah, exactly. But how many monsters did you say there are? Dinosaurs?
I don't. So I just remember I got to the end game and like the number went from like 40 to like 70. Just suddenly from you beat
Okay,
the game with 40 and then suddenly 30 more pop up. And I was
that's
just
pretty
like,
cool.
this is interesting, but also it's not like it was just
Are they 40 like they're all viable, or is it kind of like half of them are the pre-evolution forms? Is there evolution
so there's not
or what?
evolutions, but you know how you find the skull and you have to like
Yeah.
care about the skull. You can also find their arms, their body, and their tail and stuff. So instead of
Hmm.
evolving, what you do is as you get more of those, they get more special abilities and attacks and stuff. Um, I remember there were some creatures that I felt just didn't have. I feel like it was more viable. I think they were definitely of the 40, more of them were viable. Like I think a kid could have chose any 3 that they liked of the 40 and built a solid team with those 3, no matter what.
Okay.
But I don't think like
So
they could
what's just the
synergize well.
dynamics?
What's up?
Yeah. Oh, so the dynamics were cool, but it sounds like the synergies weren't super important, but you could synergize stuff if you want.
Yeah. So if you synergize, which I
Sloth.
of course did synergies,
He's a
you just
sloth
blow
guy.
them out and it's not even close.
Oh, okay, I see. So they probably thought synergies would be really hard for kids to pull off,
Yeah.
or like they wouldn't notice them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But also it's
Okay.
like, yeah, there's no Rattata, there's no Raticate that's like, this is cool in the early game, but sucks in the late game. Like if you try
Yeah,
hard
see,
enough,
that's
you
what's
could,
cool about Pokemon.
yeah. If you try hard enough, you can make any of them work, which was pretty interesting. But also, again, the game was too easy. That's why all this worked.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
Anyways, I feel like you've said a lot about this.
mhm.
Any last closing thoughts, or if there is other like things you want to like delve into with this game, I don't mind talking more about it. I just feel like it's a good cutoff.
I think this is a good cutoff point. Like if they had a better target audience, like I would love to see their fighting system come back. I would love to see like a Fossil Fighters 2 that's aimed more towards teenagers, more towards people that they know will be more experienced with a combat system. There was a lot of potential in here, but I feel like they did not meet it. And therefore I
Gotcha.
cannot recommend the game. But I think there's a lot there that you can learn from if you're just like interested in unique RPGs or something like that. It might be worth your time.
Cool. And now, do you have another RPG? Because I actually don't have an RPG that
Yep.
I can think
Oh,
of that I
don't
really
worry.
want to talk.
I have a list. All right.
Yeah, let's go with another one of yours.
All right.
Because
So since we're
I
on the
like
top,
hearing yours right now.
all
Yeah.
right, cool. Since we're on the topic of RPGs where it's like you're not the one fighting, you're summoning monsters to fight for you, let's just go with Dragon Quest Monsters Joker,
Oh yeah. All right.
which I believe they're coming out with a new Dragon Quest
No,
Monsters
yeah, I
game.
just ordered it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Dark Prince.
Yep, Dark Prince. I ordered it today.
So
So I'm excited. And
I think I
this is the only other one that came to that I've heard of that came to America. Maybe there's more, but this is really cool. So you still have this game? That's sick.
yeah, no, all of the DS games though. So where I feel like my brother's childhood was more around like the Nintendo and the GameCube and stuff. My childhood with gaming really started when I got my 3DS and was allowed to basically play games when I wanted. So all of my good DS games, I still have my shelf just lined up over off screen, basically. So
So this is like a main component to, yeah, like your like gaming
yeah.
personality thing, yeah.
Yes. So I remember I talked about this before, but I was just like for some reason my mind was only focusing on the negatives, so I kind of want to talk more about the positive systems because there's a new one coming up. You should be excited about Dragon Quest series.
Yeah, true.
So one I do. It's always nice whenever you play a monster fighting game where it's like there's all these different options. There's all like you even see like in the little corners of the screen all these different monsters that fiends can become, and just kind of this I feel like because there's not an evolution system, you don't really get attached to any individual monster, unfortunately. But the synchronization system basically means that any monster you train up still has value as you synchronize it with another creature to make it powerful. So even if
Right.
so like even if
Like I've just heard in so go for it. Sorry. Sorry.
so even if like you have a level 1 slime that you liked and wanted to play with, and then just like you max it out, but then obviously the slime's not going to carry you to the late game, you could synthesize it with another, and then the abilities that you gain from leveling it up carry over. So like a slime I think is more speed based.
Okay.
So whatever monster you
Yeah.
synchronize it with it's going to be faster than other monsters of the same kind.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So like none of your training goes to waste and you can like play with a bunch of different creatures. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what sucks about Pokemon is like, I mean, I know I just said before this, why do us all compared to Pokemon? I'm still going to compare it to Pokemon. I'm comparing it as another RPG though. I'm not saying it's going to be a replacement, but the thing about Pokemon is that especially with the new ones, I want to try out like a bunch of the different new Pokemon, but you have to like commit to a team of 6. But
this seems like you get to try a bunch of different ones, which is cool.
Yeah. So in this, you commit to a team of 3, and well, you don't commit to a team of 3. No, you constantly have three creatures that you send out.
Right. Yeah.
I do think that this fits more in the Pokemon aspect. That's like it's a story of you going on your own adventure to like try to, and like the same way that the that Pokemon has the gym leaders, this has like challenges that you have to face before you can get to the next island, which I think is actually a
So
cool.
what are the? Oh, go for it. Sorry.
So you'll see in the little screen that this is an island that he's in. This is the first stage.
Yeah.
So like basically this island, you have a mission in it, and until you finish that mission, this is like your world map. Then once you beat it, you get a new world map, which I think is a desert. It's kind of like it has different worlds, kind of. And near the end of the game, it starts having reasons for you to go back to your old worlds that you came from, which I think at least kind of cool dynamics in a way. It feels more like, oh, you're going through a world the way Pokemon does. I kind of appreciated that.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, like the adventure style of gameplay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
So wait, you said there wasn't one you got particularly attached to? Like you don't remember your final monster that form that was the conglomerate of all your other monsters?
I remember my monster that was the final form conglomerate, but it was just kind of like...
What was it?
So what happens is they have different ranks to kind of tell you whether or not this is a monster that's good at the end. So when you first get a creature, it's rank F. And then it works its way up to D, B, C, C, B, A. And then I found 2 A rank monsters that form together to make an S rank monster. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. And then, so this first area, as I said, there's reasons. I went back here just to see if there's anything interesting. At the top of the mountain of this first area, there's a shrine. And after you leave, a Keen Slime appears there. And I ended up capturing that Keen Slime. And apparently, specifically that Keen Slime fused with a creature I got makes something called an X class creature. And X is like a secret overpowered version. And so I got that guy. And like, I remember the main villain, if I remember correctly, the main villain rebuilt his great powerful creature. And it was literally looking in a mirror. I'm like, oh.
What the heck?
I'm just like, so I am playing as the final boss. That explains why everything was so easy.
That's crazy. Wait, what was the monster called?
I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember its name, but it looked like one of those like evil. Like if you think of the Dragon Quest style themes, think of like a blue-skinned mage that just like ha 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 ha. Like it looks like what you'd think to be the main villain.
That's cool.
But it was
just happened to fuse that. That's pretty sick.
I just happened to create using like a Keen Slime and some S rank monster.
Yeah, that's the kind of stories you hear, and you can't even find it online.
Not right now.
It's crazy how much Dragon Quest walkthrough info you cannot find online. Like do you remember that time I was playing Dragon Quest 11 and I did the jackpot?
Oh my gosh.
Quest? Like I still don't know. Yeah, I still don't know if that was that lucky. There was a quest in Dragon Quest that is like you have to like hit the highest jackpot or something.
You have to get to $1 million gold or something like that. And it tells you just go for the jackpot and bet it all. And so we followed instructions.
Yes, fuck it. Yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'll just bet it all. Let's see if it works. And it worked, and I got $1 million. I was like, wait, is this how it does it? Or did I just get lucky? And so I looked it up, and all I could find was people like trying like, oh, here's one method. You just keep doing this lower bet and do that. And it's like, wait, what? No one says the jackpot just wins you it? Like, it seemed like I just got lucky, but I don't know still.
Which
is pretty cool. I love that and like just like you finding that X monster, it's like, yeah, they still are able to keep that I mean, okay, this is why I like JRPGs too. They're able to keep that like RPG, the kind of old video game mystery alive, you know? Because like it's so easy to find information for Super Mario RPG or Zelda, which I do get stuck in Zelda, by the way. I'm not too proud to not admit that, but like, so like you can look it up for the more popular games, with these more niche games you can't. So it like is actually really cool when you get like the best weapon in the game or whatever, because it's like you can't just look that up online easily. Like, you could if you like put work in, but I'm not about to do that. I'd rather just play the game.
I think now that like I have access to online, I would probably enjoy this style of game more, because I remember what actually got me infuriated on it could have been
Mhm.
easily resolved if I had access to the online.
Oh,
So I beat the game, and I was just interested in making the most powerful team because they actually, your rival in the game, you don't be afterwards. You save the world, but you're not like the champion monster hunter. Your rival is, and so you actually have
wow,
to
that's
challenge
pretty
them,
cool.
and like they have a bunch of powerful teams and stuff. And
Wow.
I remember I was looking for another X rank, S rank, or X rank monster, and I
Mhm.
found one like because I think my rival had it, but it was called a Mumbo Jumbo, and
Mumbo.
it like looks like three people stacked on top of each other, and those three people are both all B rank creatures called a Mum, a Bow, and a Jum. I'm like, but hold up, I can only synthesize two, so I basically just got like a bunch of those guys and start synthesizing them in different ways, and I could not get it to evolve. And
Oh,
I'm like, I could not figure out, and annoyed because I'm like, it should be obvious. This is all the pieces. Why are they not fitting together? And
oh, damn.
turned out it was just my little kid knowledge. So each creature has its own specific, like, this is the slime special ability. This is the toxic slime special ability. And like
Okay.
you choose which ones you carry over, and you just need to carry
Mhm.
over one from Mum, the Bow, and the Jump. So I was just carrying over like, oh, I want this one has increased attack. I want to grab the increased attack. I want to grab the increased speed. I wasn't carrying over their own signature abilities.
Oh.
You just have to carry over their signature abilities, and then it will offer up, make the great mumbo jumbo, and get your S rank creature that you wanted.
That's cool.
But yeah, as you're
And
saying,
maybe this info will help people in the next Dragon Quest too. Thank you. Good to
yep.
know.
I will say one thing I kind of didn't like. So the way you capture monsters is you have to like you declare I am capturing this monster, and all of your creatures will do their auto attack, and that will increase a percentage based on how much damage it does. And then if that percentage just tells you the percent chance that follows you or that just leaves. And the problem is there's these things that I love to craft with called metal slimes. And metal slimes, any auto attack only deals 1 damage no matter what, unless you get a critical
Oh,
hit. Like you're supposed to kill them with
damn.
magic, but instead what you're doing is you're just like praying you get a crit every time and just like fishing for it on your synchronizing. If you get a crit,
Oh
you probably
my
get the
god.
metal slime. If you don't, you have a 1% chance. And
Can you back out of it?
once you do it,
Or
no.
does it run away eventually?
It runs,
So you're
and
just
that's the
stuck
thing.
in
Metal
there?
slimes run away immediately, so you have
Oh,
to go for it immediately and hope it works. So you can't like do a thing to charge up your crit chance or anything. You just have to go for it and hope it works.
I think you get the metal
And
slime ability.
I remember I found the metal slime keen, and I'm like, please,
Oh.
please, and I didn't get lucky, and it ran away.
That's so fucked up they even have a metal slime king. What the fuck? Yeah, see, that's the legendary status of these RPGs and the things that you can like get involved in. See, that's why I'm excited. That's why I bought it, because it's like people don't know much about it, and it seems like it's not getting that much attention. So this is going to be a fun one. And I think that about Monster Hunter Stories too, also, which I haven't looked that much into. But it's probably one of those games where you can like find some cool secret things and get into it.
I'm sure there's more
Yes, this is
secrets
a
that I
good game.
never found. I remember I talked to a friend who played it. He told me about something I should have been doing from the start, which would have made my monsters much stronger. But you don't have to do that. You just need to craft your X rank monster. Then you don't need all that leveling up skill. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's like I think because there's an internet community for this, I think that's going to mean that when you you're going to have a much better experience than I did with Monster Hunter Joker because or this Dragon
Yeah,
Quest
you can
Monsters.
look up this. You can look up the stuff you want to. You know, like you can keep the mystery, but when you're ready to like maximize and what is it called? Mid.
Optimize your training or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. So like because once you know what you're
Min-max.
exactly. I feel like if I had a little more knowledge about the things you should consider when synchronizing beyond just, oh, what cool monster does it become after? Just a little knowledge on like, oh, if you focus your skills into and max out one of your skill things, you'll get access to an upgraded version of it when you synthesize. If I knew that, I'd probably be focusing more on like the increased strength or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that
But
makes sense. All right, anything else you want to talk about with this game? Because I actually have one more game I'd like to talk about. How much time do we have left?
we have enough for you to talk about that one more game.
Like, well, what time is it? Because I was
It's
thinking
54.
of Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking. 55. Cool.
Awesome.
I thought I was like, we're at 55.
Yep.
But I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX still, which I think I talked about last time. Rescue Team. And dude, I just want to say too, I saw an advertisement for another mystery. It's not Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, just plain old Mystery Dungeon for Switch. I want to look it up, see if it comes up. And it was like they're making a new one.
The original?
And it's like, I don't know, but they're only showing Pokemon. Wow. I swear I saw an advertisement for it today.
And just has like the kind of Raiden style straw hat on his head. Oh, wow.
But I was just thinking, you don't need any more than one of these games, because I've been grinding this game out, like determined to beat it, and it's like I'm at 50 hours or something crazy right now. But I've been having a good time, but I have to take breaks. I'm getting like burnt out of it, and but I'm still having a good time. Every time I complete a thing, it's really satisfying. Let's put it that way. Let me just get the thing loaded up real quick. Just something to play in the background. But yeah, I've been really digging it, and just going through all of the. Oh, he got a skitty too.
Hey. Did it just crash?
Going all the dungeons, and like I went 99 floor dungeon recently, and here we go. Let's do this. He's at a store. Oh, and he had a Trico. That's cool. Yeah, it's a cool thing that like your personality type determines what Pokemon you get, and then when you actually play through it, the story's actually semi-deep, and it's like all about like growing up, and like not just growing up, but like growing out of old attitudes, like the whole like arc with Gengar, and spoilers, but how like you have to like he has to like learn gratitude and like grow out of his like old mindset. There's like another Pokemon Gardevoir who like gives her life for you. It's like actually like a deep story. It's weird. It's a weird place for Pokemon to put like a deep story. But it's like deep, and it's like also anime, but I'm on in my anime weeboo phase. It's kind of like an anime drama kind of story. But like it's cool to see, especially if you have like it probably isn't the same effect with Skitty. But if you have one of the Pokemon with 3 evolutions, like I ended up getting Machop. And so now I have him a champ. And it's like like your character on screen is so much bigger and different and more like aggressive, and like you just feel more powerful, and you go through these like emotional evolutions as a character of like growing, and now you're like fighting all these legendary creatures and just destroying them easily, and it's like it's just cool. It's
I didn't even think about that,
kind of feel.
because you specifically are the one evolving. It's the perfect story of growing up.
Yeah,
Oh my
it totally
God.
is. Yeah. And it's like growing up, but it's more like growth in like just personal levels, you know what I mean? Like just gratitude and like sacrifice, and it's actually pretty cool in that regard. But I still wouldn't recommend it as a game. I wouldn't recommend playing this game, but I got caught up in playing it just because it looked cool, and I'm a sucker for like tacticsy looking things, and it's like also really easy to. It's really easy in the sense that you can like optimize this game. Really, it has so many systems. You can just like optimize something and make it easy to kind of cheese some stuff, and like just it's really easy to grind a bunch of items and just like stat boosting stuff. And it makes it really fun, and you can make any Pokemon viable at any evolution, because they kind of part of the theme of this game is like they want the cute Pokemon to be powerful, so you can just stay a cute Pokemon if you want. So you have like these gummies, and like all the stat boosting items have no cap. So you just like I want to make a Charmeleon that looks, or not that looks, but I want to make a Charmeleon that has like really good stats, because fire is a better defensive typing, but also Charmeleon just looks cool. So you can just have like a sick ass Charmeleon that like has all these high stats. But anyways, I'm 50 hours into this game. I think I'm like 48 technically, but I'm gonna be finishing that. But yeah, and I think that's a good way to transition into like what we're playing. So I'm playing this.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, you want to say more about this? Yeah,
Just
say more about
really
DX.
quick
Sorry.
statement.
Yeah.
I think as for you said you're not sure you would recommend it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So if you like RPGs and you also like roguelikes, the element of the map always shifting every time you go through the dungeon gets that replay value that you might want of a roguelike alongside all the RPG elements. I would actually recommend this game if you like both genres without much
True.
consideration.
Yeah, with the roguelite element to it, because you do actually get access to like cool builds, but you really have to grind for it. That's the thing. You have to grind for the different kind of builds and like. But I'm at the point where I've like have like a bunch of different builds I can run for each thing I go through, and you end up getting to these cool. Oh, the dungeon! One of the dungeons I just went through. So I have this ability with one of my characters. It's a special ability only in the DX version that lets you just like dig through walls. So the walls just collapse down in front of you, but it takes you have this hunger bar right here. It takes some of your hunger away. But since I have this bandana that where I don't get normal hunger pangs, I just get hunger from crushing these walls, I can like have this really good combo. But there's also this area you go to. It's a dungeon that inside of the walls are stat boosting items. So, and it was a 99 floor dungeon. So I just found all these stat boosting items in the walls of this 99 floor forever and just like kept boosting my stats. Like now my guys are so powerful and it's like, it gets insane. And like, yeah, you're right. I think it takes investment to get there is basically what I was getting at.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
it feels like you've got to the point where it's like, all right, you've invested enough. Here's your level 99 level 100 Pokemon. Your Skitty is now can kill Arceus.
And okay, it's really cool in the sense of collecting Pokemon too, is if you're a Pokemon fan like that, because I think I've only come across 2 shinies. They're both Dittos. It was the shiny blue Ditto looking thing. Oh, I think I came across a shiny Ampharos once, but you can't. This is when you defeat them, they have like a possibility of joining your team, and they'll just be like, oh, they decided they formed a kinship with you. So you can't really control it. So I have not caught any shiny Pokemon in this game, unless there's one I forgot about that's like somewhere in my archives of Pokemon. But so that's pretty cool if you're into that. If you want to like cool like quest to do, like get a shiny Pokemon in this game or something. But yeah, I was gonna transition this into what games we're playing. I'm playing this.
Yep.
And I'm also playing Harvest Moon 64 on stream. I'm gonna actually do that again tonight. That was really fun last night. I just started up again. I'm like just doing 2-hour stints, but to like get back into the groove of it. But I love this I love the N64. And this is like an N64 game that I've never played, So I'm excited. And I've been playing it, it's fun, but that's what I've been playing mostly, those things.
As for me, I haven't so I've been focusing. I am the dungeon master in a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and I've been doing a lot of prep because I have new players coming in. So a lot of the things that I'm doing are things that are kind of personal to my story. D&D is kind of like you tell your own story theme, so it's kind of difficult to just like, oh, here's the shared experience. Just like I'm helping a guy build his first monk, someone else build their first sorcerer. That's always enjoyable, but it's like that's going to be their own dynamic. I can't really. One of these days, I'll go deep into my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, but I'm not sure everyone. It might just be my own personal time sort of theme. But yeah, that's a lot of my focus is there.
That's cool though.
Also, I actually read a manga with a lot of my time. I bought this called Goodbye Eri. It's pretty dark, but it's also like it's a fantastic story. I don't want to spoil it because there's plot twists which make it absolutely amazing. I would recommend it. I spent like
random Ultrapond podcast recommendation.
I don't own many books. I bought that one actively, so that should tell you all you need to know about. Do I think it's good?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I can vouch for him. He never buys books. Yeah,
Ben never does anything. Yep,
that's cool.
But yeah, just
real quick too. Actually, we don't have to do this podcast because we still have a couple more weeks in the year. But we should at least give what we think would be our game of the year.
Ooh.
Like our personal game of the year. Like even if you've only played like 3 games this year, because I know you're pretty casual with it, or you don't play much, but
yeah. If we can,
I don't even remember what I played into January, to be honest, and stuff like that. But
You want to
What
try?
came out this year?
Yeah. Well, I think that will be the session for next time because we are already past an hour. But that's a good thing to look forward to. What are our games of the year? Because
okay, also I have to mention too, last podcast we talked about the Sega games that were revealed during the Game of the Year awards, and we didn't even talk about the Game of the Year or like what game won certain Game of the Year, which is like kind of, I don't know if you've heard this, but there's been a lot of comments of people complaining that like the Game of the Year awards have been too commercial and not focusing on celebrating, and like it just proves it by what we talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, Tears of Kingdom obviously came out this year. Pikmin 4. Okay, just off the top of your head, what's like your favorite game? Doesn't have to have came out this year, just that you played this year that you had the most fun time with. Like it could be an old game.
I know it was a short period of time that we enjoyed it, but WarioWare Move It was a lot of fun when we were playing that together.
Dude, yeah, that was pretty recent, dude. Yeah, that can, next time you come down, you gotta play that again.
I literally bought a pair of additional Switch controllers so that I can actually play it down here.
Oh, nice, cool. With the strap and all that.
Yeah, with the strap and all of that, of course. Gosh, those things are expensive.
Ooh. Let me just look through real quick. Let me just dox my own history here.
I think we should probably move on to our closing thoughts and statements if we have them.
Yeah. I just wanted to say what my game of the year would be really quick.
Oh, of course.
I just want to look through but yeah, then we'll do closing thoughts. I just want to see what I played this year. Damn, I played too many games for it to show everything. Pikmin 4 came out this year. I feel like I've been looking forward to Pikmin 4 for so long, but then I just blew through it really fast. But it's like a short game anyways. Super Mario Bros. 1. I mean, Tears of Kingdom.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, a lot of good games came out this year, man. But yeah, we'll discuss that all next year. Right now, I would say Tears of Kingdom just because it's Zelda, and I'm playing through it again right now. I just restarted again.
It's not my favorite game. I just played it twice now.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I mean I have some more nuanced thoughts about it that I want to talk about, but yeah, closing thoughts. Still have a lot more RPGs to talk about. Yeah, do you have any last words?
Everyone,
last closing thoughts?
Not really closing thoughts, but everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with us for their rambles about RPGs and Nintendo podcast things. And also make sure to go check out FoeCus. He's streaming again over on his channel on Twitch. So
it's FoeCus and then underscore, I think.
Yeah, I think you have an underscore.
Just put the link.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put the link. Don't worry. Also, thank you, FoeCus. Cool. In case people didn't know, he's the one doing all the edits that you see on the screen and stuff.
Oh yeah, I didn't put too much in the last one, but the first one was fun. But I want to do more consistently. Yeah. But it's just we've been booting back up into doing these things. So yeah,
it takes a process. It takes time. But thank you so much, man.
I want to do more of that.
And I want to see
more. Thank you for recording and taking care of the other end of it. This is a team process, so thank you to Tadpole. Yeah.
All right.
With
that, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Wonderful.
Peace.